Hello everybody, this is Mark from Altcoin Buzz, and I wanted to get a speed run in on a lot of the coins that you guys asked about. I'm going to take tomorrow off, so I didn't want to leave you hanging. I wanted to let you know that I am reading your comments, so get ready to leave a comment below on the coins that you'd like me to review, and I'll try and get to them. So we're going to go through some of these coins rather fast. I'll give you a kind of a general opinion of what I'm seeing. Now remember, these aren't absolutes, right? We can't predict the future, but I'm just going to tell you what the indicators are kind of speaking to me, how the chart kind of looks at me, and from there, I'll deliver you the information. So that's all I can commit to you right now, but let's have some fun with it. Okay, on Ethereum, nothing's really changed over the last few days. Overall, we're in a consolidation area, right in that 660 to 680 range. We'll go down to our 8-hour chart. Those channels that we drew are holding up pretty well. You can see almost exactly as if we were painting on this line. We put our interim support at 683, and if we keep going up this trend line, that will become our horizontal support level. Where we really want to break through is this 736 and get comfortable in there so that we can take the next step up into this $800 range. Overall, the Ethereum chart, indicators and all, looks very strong. I'm banking my Ethereum on it continuing to move up this trend line and start getting in this area. I love the Ethereum chart. I love the way the indicators are pointing right now. In my mind, I'm a trader that loves looking at the charts. And as I look at this, with this little triangle forming and this nice pattern going up, I don't see any reason that we can't test this 735, 736 range, whatever this ends up being, but right in this general area, and even using that as support. So that's Ethereum for you. Bitcoin on the one-day chart really looks like it's made up its mind on which way it was going to go when we had this tug of war going on in here the last few days. And looking like we can use this as a support level based upon some other indicators on the one-day chart, somewhere in that $9,000 range. Let's look at the 8-hour chart real quick. So theoretically, this should be where we get our trend going back again at a nice, stable level, much more controlled than this kind of action. Got what looks like a triangle forming in here, which would theoretically, with this trend up, give us a pretty good indication that this consolidation will then continue along this trend. That's what we're hoping for, right? So now let's just get a sense of where our levels are again. Hopefully support right in here, at least at this $9,000 range. If we broke through that, mid to high 85, based upon the Fibonacci, would be our support. Obviously, our resistance is going to be where we were before a couple weeks ago, right? That $9,700. Then we can start striving for where we were at that $11,000 before. It looks like we'll have to test that 10,000, 10,500 range first, which is great, and hopefully we'll test it by going up this trend line versus taking a huge jump up and then crashing back down again. So if we could close out the days breaking through the $9,300 range, that would be fantastic. If we break out the day settling on the $9,000 support level right in there, that would be a continuation of this consolidation, and we wouldn't want to be testing this lower level at the $8,500, $8,600, $8,700 range too much. But overall, our indicators are telling us that they like this level that we're sitting at right now, and we have a little room to move up. So that's Bitcoin for you. Okay, Icon on the one-day chart. That's what we're looking at here. A relatively new coin, but you can see it's had some nice trajectory over the last few weeks. It's on a nice incline pattern, nice and steady, almost at a 45-degree angle. Like seeing that much better than this kind of incline, this real quick shot up. And when you saw it with Bitcoin, when you shoot that far up, you're usually correcting a great deal as well when you come back down. But this is very nice, a nice little steady 45-degree incline. Let's go down the 8-hour chart. We're in a pretty well-defined trading channel right now, sitting up in the high $4 range, the 480 range, right in there, 483, 485, something like that. And generally, this coin's doing exactly what we want to see it do, right? It's going up, consolidating a little bit, going up, consolidating a little bit, and it's falling right back down on this trend line every single time. So at least, if anything, it's consistent. So the indicators on this chart look really nice. There is a little bit of a bear divergence starting to form. So theoretically, we could be seeing, again, another strong pullback. It may even take us below this trend line for a little bit. But overall, this coin's looking very strong, in my opinion. So that's Icon. Okay, let's take a look at XLM, Steller Lumen. Starting on the USD one-day chart, we're in a consolidation period right now, trading at about 43 cents. We have a few bearish candles at the end of that chart. Let's drill into the 8-hour. And let's see if we can't set some levels for ourselves. So our support's sitting right now at 34 cents. Our resistance is coming up to 40, call it 46 cents. That 34 cents is down here on the Fibonacci, but we could add in another level of support right here that acted as resistance back here at around 37 cents. Now, all the other indicators on XLM are showing indications of coming into a situation where the bears may take control over this coin, which just basically means to me that we're going to see some consolidation come back in here again, or at least a retraction from here. That may happen after we hit this resistance line, but there's a divergence happening right now in the indicators, which really kind of indicate that this is getting ready to retract a little bit. So that's XLM for you. All right, let's do a quick review on Ontology. We'll start on the 12-hour Bitcoin chart. There is no calculating value in TradeView right now for the US dollar, and that's okay. We'll just work off Satoshis right now. You can see a very strong-looking chart. Obviously, a new coin, a bit of a retraction, and then another nice swing coming up again. If we go into the 8-hour chart, let's do a quick Fibonacci on this coin. You can see, well, we're reaching for that 618 level at triple lot 76 Satoshis. That's where we're reaching for. But this long candle on low volume makes me nervous that we might be moving into another retraction. The indicators look nice on this coin. The only thing that makes me nervous is it does look like we're getting into an overbought situation. So at some point we'll see a little bit of a correction here coming up. Whether we're able to get above the 618 level, the triple lot 76 Satoshis, to become our support level or not is probably the biggest question at this point. Certainly, we hope to get enough momentum to break through this half level, 0.5, to the triple lot 70 to make that our support line. But overall, Ontology is just a strong chart right now. Just again, with this kind of movement, I expect us to start seeing that momentum slow down somewhere into some kind of consolidation or a little bit of retraction. So that's what you're going to be looking for, is to when the body of these candles start tightening up a little bit, and then you could start evaluating where your potential support. So Ontology. Okay, let's take a look at Substratum on the USD one-day chart. Some have asked why we start here, and really it's because there's a lot of noise that can happen on the smaller time frames, right? There's just a lot of stuff happening in a 5-minute chart that don't really give me a very large perspective on what's happening with the coin. So I started the one day just to kind of give me an idea of the way the chart's looking. As you can see here on Substratum, we had a nice upward trend, and now we're flattening out into what looks like will be a consolidation period for this coin. That's looking at it on the one-day chart. Now we will drill down a little bit and see what's going on in the 8-hour chart and see how that's stacking up against that one day by chunking it out into 3 time periods, cutting out the day into 3 time periods, and just seeing if we can get an idea of just generally what's happening. So you can see this action in here. Actually, this looks like maybe something that might be forming into a little bit of a triangle pattern if we go this way. And generally speaking, and we'll look at the thresholds for where the Fibonacci tells us that this coin is looking like it's going to be going, or where it's sitting today. But generally, when we get this kind of a triangle and it's on an uptrend, theoretically the trend should continue. We'll just squeeze out of this point here somewhere and then eventually hopefully make a rise up. But let's take a look at where we're at on support and resistance levels and see if we can confirm that. All right, let's do a Fibonacci on here real quick. We'll take this as our highest point. And you can see that that lines up pretty well. I mean, we've got some resistance here at the same level that we're sitting at right now. So around 80 cents is our resistance level. Once we can get past that, then we're shooting for $1.09 in here. If we should fall hard, our next support level is around 60 cents, but we could really give ourselves a little bit of a interim or a step there to get, just to have another safety net or level to look at right in here. You can see there's a lot of action against that line in here and back in here. So if we can't break through this 80 cent level, our next stop would be around 68 cents and then potentially break down to 59 cents or 60 cents from there if we just really took a nosedive. But with that triangle forming on this coin and the indicators showing that we're doing pretty well, we could theoretically break through this 80 cent level and make that our support area. And I'd actually tighten that up even more again to say if we could close and settle on the 78 cent level somewhere in here, that we should start seeing some more steps up. But then again, theoretically, we should see some consolidation right in this area here, and then stepping up to get some support in this area here, or just launching off of there. So that's substratum for you. Okay, Verge on the USD 1-day chart. A little different than the coins that we've been looking at on the USD charts. You can see that Verge actually had a little bit more of an uptrend earlier than some of the other coins, starting back in March instead of April. It looks like we've hit a long consolidation period in here. So let's drill down to the 8-hour chart. Okay, on the 8-hour chart, you can see we don't really have this trend line going anymore, right? So we're out of that trend line and trading horizontally. So let's give ourselves some horizontal support and resistance lines to look at. Okay, simply using the Fibonacci, you can see that we tested this resistance level up here at 11.5 cents or so, came down and broke through what we were hoping to have as a support level of 8 cents. And according to the Fibonacci, right now the next level from there is 2.5 cents or so. But we could give ourselves a little bit of a parachute if we could find support right in here that we've touched a couple times and bounced off of and was acting as resistance back in here. So potentially we found support now here at the 6 cent range. Overall, the indicators kind of combine up to show that we could be getting into a situation where we come back and hit the support level one more time, or at least get another adjustment in here. Now, theoretically, the ability to bounce off of the support line again a third time, I wouldn't be that confident on. I don't know that I want to see that anyway. So if that happens, if we come back down and crash through this support line right now, or theoretical support line, then is this our next safety net? And so then you've got another stop down at 5 cents. So that's Verge for you. It's looking like it's trying to find its path right now and a place that it feels comfortable. So keep your eye on those levels that we talked about. Can it break through the 8 cent range and make this support? Does it break through this 6 cents? And if it does it look like it can settle on this 5 cent level? That's Verge. Okay, let's take a look at Golem. So we've got a nice flagging pattern in here on the 1-day chart. It also looks like we might have a little bit of a triangle going in here. So on the 8-hour chart, you can just see how that whole flag was set up in here. The question has come up, why don't you drill down further? The question's come up, why don't I drill down further on the charts? Well, a couple things. One is these charts may not be applicable by the time you get to them once I get them uploaded. The other thing is, in reality, I'm not day trading. And if you're a day trader, I'm assuming you're doing your own charts, so you're not looking at mine. So we're just trying to get a general picture here of what's going on with this, because if I'm in a coin, I'm looking for the big swings. I'm looking for the long-term trends. When I get out of this coin is once I feel like this upward trend has reversed and that we're going to get a major correction. So the way this is looking, it's not making me too nervous with this kind of upward momentum. And you can see this looks almost exactly like this, right? So theoretically, could you drop down again? Yes. Let's just take a look at where our resistance and support levels are. That's probably about where the resistance level, well, it is where the resistance level lies right now. Then this would look more like resistance versus support. We use the Fibonacci as a retracement and just get another indicator of whether or not we're on the right track. It does line up pretty well. I mean, those support and resistance lines that we drew in here in the yellow are almost perfectly split by the Fibonacci. And the indicators actually show that this coin is trying to find its place in the chart. It doesn't quite know where to fall yet. So while we draw these support and resistance lines based off of some previous areas, the Fibonacci is also saying, gosh, I don't know, I fall right in between what you guys are thinking. So you tell me. So Golem's trying to find its path. If I just said there's a possibility that we can drop down to here and break through that, and then this would be our next kind of catch-all. 61 cents is roughly our resistance level. 57 cents is the next area that we want to watch. If we break through that, 52 cents, and then from there it's probably a pretty reasonable expectation that we'll fall all the way down here and test this level at around 42 cents. And I know there's a lot of steps there, but again, it's just trying to find its place. Now, the other option to that is we break through this 61 cents, and if you say our next resistance level, which is basically showing up back here, and then we tried and tested it right here, is going to be at that 72 cent area. Now, this is a relatively young coin, right? And none of this is meant to try and predict prices. No one can predict prices. All this is trying to do is give you some comfortability with where the movements may get to and go to, and have an idea of where you want to get in or get out. So that's Golem for you. Hey, thanks a lot for spending your time with me today. I know it's valuable. I hope you got some information out of this and you're able to kind of settle in for the weekend and kick back knowing kind of what might be happening with your particular interest. Don't forget to make the comments below on some of the coins that you'd like me to try and evaluate for you. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification button so that you know when all the new stuff is hitting Altcoin Buzz. There's some great content coming throughout the day. Also follow us on Twitter at AltcoinBuzzIO, Instagram at AltcoinBuzz. Also check out our new podcast. Again, thanks a lot and happy trading.